to our triumph. The murder charges against me have been dropped. Faison is dead. And best of all, Lucky Spencer remains in my control.
Congratulations, madam.
Good evening, Mrs. Ashton. Mind if I join you for lunch?
Do you think that's a wise idea? Aunt Gertrude is a regular at this place.
Well, how would that violate Uncle Herbert's will to have lunch with a friend? Unless you've already eaten, of course.
Oh, my lunch was canceled. I haven't even ordered yet.
Really? What a coincidence. My lunch was canceled, too. Wow. How do you feel about consoling each other?
Oh, wow.
You know, if anyone asks, we could say that we're discussing the agenda for the next ELQ board meeting. So has AJ bothered to mention that a longshoreman's strike is imminent?
Edward did mention it, but short of negotiating a compromise myself, I don't know what I can do.
Well, you second me at the next ELQ board meeting when I move to renegotiate the union contract with a neutral third party.
That sounds sensible.
Well, I'm glad you approve. Now that we've got business out of the way, let's get down to more serious matters, shall we? When's the next time I can be alone with you?
Do you ever get tired of the game? Do you just want the freedom to show how you feel?
I thought I have been every time we're alone together. What?
Sorry, you just reminded me of someone else for a moment.
Who?
My father. Actually, you're a lot like my father. He was charming and handsome and wonderful to be with.
And he left you.
At a restaurant just like this one. When he told me that he and my mother were getting divorced and he was going away, I started getting upset, and he said not to make a scene, that I was much too old to act like a baby. And besides, tears won't do anything but spoil a pleasant afternoon.
Look, don't take this the wrong way, but your father was a fool.
He was a playboy. My mother was the fool. She fell in love with someone who couldn't love her back. She tried to build a future with someone who really only wanted a pleasant afternoon.
How did I miss that about you? Underneath that sparkle and self-assurance, you've been badly hurt.
I haven't, though. I have done everything I can to not let that happen. Uncle Herbert understood that. That is the real reason for the will. I think he thought if I got married, if I made a commitment to someone and had to count on someone, that I might let myself fall in love.
Yeah. Perhaps I owe your Uncle Herbert an apology.
Why?
Because I've been so busy, resenting him for his taste in second wives that I never realized he was just trying to help you.
He was a wonderful man.
He was right. Because love is worth the risk. You have to trust me on that.
I do.
What? Well, how about room service, then?
We just saw each other last night. I thought we were supposed to be good.
Virtue's overrated, Mrs. Ashton.
Your room or mine?
Oh.
Well, Mr. Jacks, Mrs. Ashton, how delightful to see you again.
We were just leaving.
Oh, please, please don't hurry off on my account. I simply wanted you to know that the charges against me have been dropped, which means that I can now more fully devote myself to business interests. You and I had discussed some investments previously.
Was that before or after you tried to kill us in Greece?
A word of advice, Mrs. Ashton. It isn't wise to intrude in matters that don't concern you.
But my life does concern me, and I don't enjoy having it threatened.
And don't go run around antagonizing people, my dear.
Now, that is good advice. You should perhaps take it yourself. I have nothing you want, Mrs. Cassadine. And the price of dealing with you is a little bit too high. So if you'll excuse us.
Yes, it was lovely seeing you.
One last thing. You approach my wife or Mrs. Ashton again, and you'll discover just how bad an enemy I can be.
How ruthless. What a pity it's wasted on Alexis and that insipid blonde.
Talking to yourself, Mother? No doubt a sign of encroaching senility. Perhaps I should speak to your doctors about having you committed.
Well, if it isn't my second son, the poisoner. Here to congratulate me on the dismissal of charges. I'm certain you're very relieved to hear that I didn't kill your ex-mistress after all.
Of course you did. And then you framed your accomplice, Cesar Faison, who's now conveniently dead. A very elegant solution to your problems, Mother. But temporary. In fact, employing Faison may turn out to be one of your more significant errors.